Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello, we are from Group 3. I'm Sita Hasana.
I am Fadiru Sosabila.
I am Karlina Julianti.
I am Dwi Iksani.
I'm Indri Widiastuti.
I'm Ananda Mulana.
So now we're going to explain about interpreting. Based on book of theory of and practical interpretation is the oral transposition of an orally delivered message at a conference or a meeting from a source language into a target language. Interpreter is a communicator between two or more people who speak in different languages. There are three modes of interpreting. The first is simultaneous interpreting, where the interpreter speaks at the same time as the speaker, and then consecutive interpreting, where the interpreter speaks after the speaker has finished, and whispered interpreting, where the interpreter whispers the translation into a small group. Based on the interpreter's role and responsibilities, Mikasa Zhao Zurich University of Applied Sciences, Switzerland, interpreting include competence, memory, aptitude, and didactics or professionalism, while in community interpreting there are codes of ethics, certification, and professionalization. It's about social science that tell about behavior and attitude between at least two people on interpreting situation. Ideographic dimension and normative dimension is about attitude of the interpreter or the client. The interpreter must have language skill, cultural understanding, and professional conduct. To develop language skill, interpreter must practice and improve about grammar, specific vocabulary, and idiomatic expression to ensure accurate interpretation. Interpreter must complete interpreter training programs or course to enhance the skills.
And then for the next, it's code of ethics. There are some code of ethics that govern the performance of interpreters. The first is accuracy and fidelity. Accuracy and fidelity is about how the interpreter strives to render all messages accurately without adding and decrease the meaning. And then for the second is confidentiality. Confidentiality is how the interpreter keep all conversation and information confidential. And for the next is impartiality. Impartiality is when interpreters being neutral. And then there is respect for the other person. In this ethic, the interpreters perform by giving respect towards all participants that involved in the interpreter encounter. Then for the next is maintenance of role boundaries. Is where the interpreters be able to set boundaries and may not enter into the discussion. And then for the next is accountability is when the interpreter being responsible for the quality of interpretation. And then for next is professionalism. Professionalism is how the interpreter behaves in a manner with the highest professional standard. For example, such as arriving on time and dressing neatly. And then for the last is continued competence. Continued competence is where the interpreter should maintain the delivery of quality in interpretation.
Mental health is a person's mental well-being, physical, emotional, and social. Mental health problems usually occur as a result or even death traumatic. Then, in any way, mental health translators are interpreters working in mental health settings. These settings include not only emergency treatment or rehabilitation, but also places where clients are identified as mental health clients.
Legal interpretation involves a wide range of situations where a deaf person interacts with various parts of the legal system. including attorney-client conferences, police investigations, depositions, witness interviews, will settlements, court order training, and legislative hearings. Interpreters are highly qualified and trained by the National Consortium of Interpreter Education Centers to reduce errors. Legal interpretation is a recognized specialty in ASL English interpretation, and its work involves criminal investigations, interviews, and various court proceedings. Advanced interpretation skills, fluency in complex text, teamwork, and extensive knowledge of criminal prosecution and the legal system are essential. Interpreter certification is administered by the Registrar of Interpreters for the deaf, requiring general qualifications, training, and supervised work experience.
So, according to the book, interpreting in business had a big scale between interpreting freelance and interpreting company in terms, benefit, situation, difficult, and part. In other words, interpreters are important part in the world interpreting business.
Interpreting interview is would one speak in one language to another, like a bridge between translator and client. So, what is the role of the interpreter in the interview? To make sure that interpreter should do this speak well. It is the best if the interpreter is unfamiliar with the suspect. And the second, the translator need to be proficient in both language. And the third, the interpreter must possess emotional maturity and self-assurance.
Maybe that's all from us. Thank you for watching.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.